For months, we've been digging into a so-called real estate Ponzi scheme. It's accused of financially decimating dozens of Southside families, and those allegations are detailed in recent lawsuits filed against a home flipping business called iFlip Chicago.
Now, they're accused of luring inexperienced investors into predatory loans, resulting in bankruptcies and a slew of foreclosures across the Woodlawn area. And since our first story aired last month, more alleged victims have contacted PJ Randawa, showing us the supposed scheme may have an even bigger impact than we first thought.
There's a home flipping business in Chicago that's accused of ruining lives and stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from everyday people who just wanted to build some generational wealth.
We have no idea where the money is.
Imagine trusting your own family with your hard-earned life savings, believing it will secure a prosperous future. Now imagine discovering it was all a scam. Today we're diving into a heartbreaking and terrible story about a real estate Ponzi scheme run by iFlip Chicago, leaving everyday people who sought generational wealth in financial ruin. Before we get into that, I want to talk about a similar case that I made a series of YouTube videos months ago, the DJ Envy and Cesar Pena scandal. This sounds very, very familiar. DJ Envy, a well-known radio host, partnered with a real estate influencer, Cesar Pena, in what was touted to be a lucrative investment opportunity in Paterson, New Jersey. They promised ridiculously high returns through real estate investments, targeting undervalued properties for flipping or renting. Investors were enticed and lured by their high-profile social media presence and the promise of making easy money. But as many things sound too good to be true, this venture quickly unraveled into a pile of crap. Imagine trusting your favorite radio host with your life savings, only to find out it was a complete sham. As we dive into the financial impacts of these scams, it's essential to consider how rising costs in our daily lives compound these stresses. That's why I'm excited to talk about our sponsor for today's video, American Financing, and how they can help us during these tough financial times. Living in New York City, I've seen firsthand how the cost of groceries is getting out of control. Every trip to the store, it seems like the prices have jumped again. Essentials like milk, eggs, and bread are eating up more of my budget than ever before. Many people, including myself, have been tempted to use credit cards to cover these rising costs. But let me tell you, relying on credit cards for everyday purchases like groceries can be a financial trap. The high interest rates can quickly turn manageable debt into mountains of financial stress, making it harder to pay off balances and trapping you into a cycle of debt. Imagine constantly paying off one bill just to see another one piling up. It's a never-ending struggle. But there's a way out. That's why I'm thrilled to tell you about my sponsor, American Financing. They can help you regain control of your finances by tapping into your home's equity. Imagine closing your loan in as little as 10 days and potentially not having to pay your next mortgage payment. American Financing has been a family-owned company for around 25 years. They have a stellar reputation with an average of 4.75 out of 5 stars. People rave about their excellent customer service and their fast, easy process. Many say it was the most convenient lending experience they ever had, with helpful and responsive staff who made everything smooth and stress-free. So don't wait. This opportunity to regain control of your finances is too significant to ignore. Call 866-885-3801 or visit americanfinancial.net/Hannibal to see how much you can save. Let's get back into the video. So in 2018, investors were pitched projects like the Taylor Apartments. This was a 50-unit building that never came to fruition. As allegations mounted, it became clear that DJ Envy and Cesar were operating a Ponzi-like scheme, taking money from new investors to pay off the old ones. Cesar was eventually charged with wire fraud in connection with a multi-million-dollar scam. How could such high-profile figures get away with a scam for so long? But let's find out. House flipping. We all know about it. You watch it on TV. It looks easy and it looks extremely profitable. That's what many people thought when they heard of iFlip Chicago. This company offered 2 main services: a boot camp to teach you everything you need to know about flipping homes, a partnership opportunity where first-time investors can team up with iFlip to flip a home together. For a fee of $800, you can join the iFlip boot camp, and if you had some money to invest, you could partner up with them on a flip. They promise to handle everything in finding the right property to secure funding, managing the renovations, and eventually selling a home. In return, they will take about 30% of the profits. This seems like a win-win situation, but this is when things quickly went south. Fast forward a bit, we have lawsuits. 2 new lawsuits have accused iFlip Chicago of running a real estate Ponzi scheme. Investors claim that they were lured into predatory loans and lost significant amounts of money. One such investor was Maria Ahmed, a emergency room doctor who invested nearly $200,000. She trusted iFlip because it was run by her own cousin, Michelle Bay. How can you protect yourself even when your own family can't be trusted? The Bays painted a rosy picture of success. They had a strong online presence showcasing their successful projects, which convinced many people, including their own cousin, to trust them. Another investor, Tatiana Barnett, a realtor who already flipped some properties in Indiana, also fell for their promises. She hoped that partnering with iFlip would help her with her next big project. But this is when the scam unfolds. Here's how the scheme worked. iFlip would find distressed properties on Chicago's South Side, particularly in areas like Woodlawn. They would get investors to sign up for commercial mortgages with high interest rates to fund the purchase and the renovation of these homes. But there was a catch. Hidden deep within the loan documents was a cross-collateralization clause. So this hidden clause in the fine print can make or break your investment. This clause meant if Rommel Bay defaulted on any of his loans, the debt will be transferred to other iFlip participants like Maria and Tatiana. Rommel had several past due balances, which led these investors being charged thousands of dollars in cross-interest fees for loans they never took out. These kind of loans were predatory and was designed to fail, leaving the investors with properties they could not afford to renovate or sell. So imagine being on the hook for debts you didn't even know existed. As a result, many properties linked to iFlip are now in foreclosure. These homes, once seen as opportunities to build wealth and improve communities, have become eyesores in the neighborhood, like Woodlawn. They are gutted, vacant, and uninhabitable, creating more problems for the areas they were supposed to help. These victims' experiences highlight the devastating impact of this scheme. At their closings, they had to sign hundreds of pages of documents, including the crucial cross-collateralization clauses. Despite hiring an attorney recommended by iFlip to review the documents, they were never warned about these clauses. The attorney, now is also being sued, failed to protect their interests. In the midst of all this, Rommel Bay claims that he's a victim too. This sounds very familiar to the DJ Envy Siege Pena story. However, evidence showed that Rommel had at least 20 loans with this lender, and his own real estate attorney was involved in these deals. The loan company stated that these clauses were standard, so it casts a lot of doubt on Rommel's claims of ignorance. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Well, you had multiple deals, or more than a dozen deals. You know exactly what was going on. How can the supposed mastermind of this scheme just all of a sudden pretend that he's a victim too? And this is the really sad part. Despite the lawsuits and mounting evidence against them, Rommel still continues to hold investment seminars on Facebook, teaching people how to invest and secure funding for the next flip. The audacity of this guy has left many wondering, how can he still operate and attract new investors? The iFlip scandal have left a lasting scar on the south side of Chicago. At least 7 iFlip properties are currently in foreclosure, including Tatiana's. These homes are not just financial failures, but physical blights on their community. Sandra Robertson, who lives next to one of these unfinished properties, described it as an eyesore and expressed frustration that 2 years later, there's still more questions than answers. What can we learn from this? Just like a lot of these scams, if the investment opportunity sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Always do thorough research and seek independent advice before committing any of your money. Be wary of companies that offer the full service package, where they control every aspect of the investment, from finding the property to providing legal counsel. This creates a conflict of interest that can easily be led to exploitation. The problem is, especially in the Black community, there's this ideal that building generational wealth is the way to overcome historical financial struggles, right? But the problem is that these scams promise to help, but with this, they end up doing the complete opposite. Families lose their investments. They just don't lose their money, they lose their future. The dream of passing down wealth to the next generation gets shattered, setting families back financially for years. Similar to the DJ Envy situation. What do you guys think about the story? Put in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.